Hey guys, it's Ben. Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be learning how to edit a gameplay clip like you saw at the beginning of the video in Adobe After Effects. So the very first thing you're going to want to do is open up a new composition with the same resolution as the clip that you're going to be using. You're also going to require a song, and you don't have to, but I've also got an operator gun sound so I can sync that up with the shots within the clip. So let's get into it. Okay, now that you've got your composition set up, you want to drag your files that you're going to be using into the box on the left-hand side, just over here. Once you've done that, grab your song track and drag that down to this bottom left-hand corner, and then press L on your keyboard twice. This allows you to see the waveform, which will allow you to go through your track and mark the beats. So say, for instance, that there was a beat right here. Just grab the mark on the right-hand side here, drag it over. As you get nearer, press Shift and it will snap to it. I'm going to fast forward through this bit just as I find a few beats. I'll see you in a second. Okay, we've got I think enough markers there for the beats for the length of this clip. So the next thing we're going to do is drag the clip onto the timeline, and we're going to start cutting the clip. So all you want to do is just drag this along and find the moment before the first kill. Let's run away from that flash. So that over here on the preview thing, you can literally go frame by frame. So that there is the frame before the kill. So I'm going to press Control, Shift, and D on my keyboard, which splits the clip. So that's on its own layer now, and then we can continue and find the next one. This is just there. I'm going to split the clip again by the Control, Shift, D, and then there's one more kill, which is just there. So that's it. That's all the clips split. So this first step here is we're now going to time remap certain moments in the clip and the kills. You can use Twixtor for this, but I actually prefer to use time remapping, and also time remapping is actually built into After Effects, so there's no need for any additional plugins on this part. So all we're going to want to do is on the very first clip we have is press it, highlight it, press Control Alt and T on your keyboard, and that allows the time remapping. Now you'll see you've got two keyframes here, which mark the beginning and the end of the clip. So as we have cut this clip, split this clip just here, I'm going to go to that point by holding Shift, and it will also snap onto the end of the clip and put another keyframe, which will allow me to delete that last one. Now in this clip we're going to find a few little parts that we like the look of. So him walking up the stairs, pulling out the sniper, pulling back the lever. We're going to keyframe that one, and then he walks up to here, he reloads. Let's have a keyframe there. Walks up to the window, runs away from there, and goes back and zooms in. I'm going to keyframe this just before it actually does zoom in. There. And then obviously it goes to the kill. So now what I'm going to do is highlight all of these keyframes and press F9 on your keyboard, and we're now going to move these keyframes to beat markers that we made earlier. So I'm going to go to the first one, drag this one over to it, and at the same time I'm holding Shift on the keyboard, which allows you to snap it to the beat. So just move these across. Like so, and then grab the end of this clip and drag it to that marker because it doesn't need to be any longer than that. So if you played this back now, it doesn't look very nice. So what we want to do is we're going to edit these in the graph. So we're going to highlight the keyframes and press on this little icon here, which is the graph editor, and then scroll down a little bit. And then as you can see, you can't really see the graph here too well. So I'm going to press Control and hold it on the keyboard and zoom in on my mouse wheel, which allows you to see the velocity. So we just want to edit these a little bit. I tend to go up and try and get this list like S curve, which I'm sure you've seen in other tutorials. So I want to do this on sort of all of them, which gives it a nice flow to the video clip in sync with the beats of the song. You can drag these up a little bit as well. You don't want to go too much because you don't want to distort the clip, but that's looking good. So basically, we're going to want to repeat this process for the rest of our clips. So I will fast forward this bit. Okay, so I've got it all synced up, and hopefully you've been able to follow along pretty simply with that. So this is the stage we're at. So it looks a little bit jumpy. So the other thing I do is I enable I enable frame blending on the layers. So that is this little left hand box over here, and you want to press on it twice. So you have this little arrow. Do that for each of them. And when you RAM preview, it will take a little bit longer, but the clip should look a lot smoother. So yeah, the RAM preview is being a bit slow there, but once it's done, it'll be all right. Let's go through that again. There we go. So yeah, so it's synced up with the beat. I mean, I've done it quite quickly, and it's a little bit rough here just for the tutorial sake. But I mean, this little bit here, I could probably cut it out um, and make the whole thing a little bit smoother. But that's the basics for the syncing to the beat of the song. So now all we want to do is add a couple of effects to um, the kills. So in this clip, I'm just going to do some simple scale and rotation. Um, it's easy, and obviously there's more advanced techniques you can use, but for the sake of this simple clip editing tutorial, this will suffice. So you want to go to the first frame of the clip where your first kill is, which is for me is on the second layer, which it should be the same for you. And you're going to want to press S on your keyboard, and this brings up the scale transform option on the left hand side here. So what I tend to do is I go back one frame and I hit the keyframe icon at 100%, and that stops the clip from being any bigger beforehand, even though you can't see it, but it stops it from being bigger beforehand. Come over back to the kill frame, and we're going to scale it up to 120. As you can see, the screen zoomed in there, and then we're going to go over about 10 frames. Actually, no, what we'll do, we'll go halfway between these two beats, and we'll bring the scale back down to 100%. Highlight the keyframes, press F9 on your keyboard to ease them, and we'll have a slight pump on the screen. I'm also going to add a rotation. So yet again, go back to the beginning of the clip, go back one, press R on your keyboard, which brings the rotation out, keyframe that one, go back to the kill frame. I'm going to rotate it by 7 degrees, which stops it from cutting off any corners or showing anything behind. Press U on your keyboard so you can see your previous keyframes, and we're going to match it up to the scale keyframe, so it's in sync with that. Highlight them, F9 on your keyboard for easy ease, and there you've got a basic scream pump for your kill. So just want to repeat this for your next couple of kills. on this next kill, I maybe going to put the rotation -7 so it rotates the other direction. Let's see how that looks. So we'll scale it there at 100%, back on the kill frame, 120, about halfway between the two markers, back down to 100, highlight them, easy ease by pressing F9 on your keyboard, press R for rotation, go back to the beginning of the clip, go back one frame, highlight no rotation, press U on your keyboard to see the scale, keyframes, go forward one, and we're going to put -7 on the rotation so it's gone the other direction, and then we're going to put 0 at the same place as the scale, highlight them, and easy ease. So what we should have there is one. There we go. So that's just two little nice little screen pumps for those two kills. And all I'm going to do is do the same again on the final clip, which is here. So S on the keyboard, back one frame, keyframe the 100%, one frame forward, 120, about halfway between the two markers, back to 100, highlight them for easy ease, press F9, press R on your keyboard for rotation, back to the beginning of the clip, back one frame, keyframe the 0 rotation, go forward one frame, keyframe a rotation of 7, press U on your keyboard to match it to the scale, and then press and keyframe the 0, highlight them, easy ease, and that's our 3 kills, all with a little screen pub effect. Okay, so now that we've got all those basic bits done for the main effects of the video, I'm going to add the little black bars top and bottom to try and hide a bit of the HUD elements. And it also hides the HUD elements a bit better when we do the zoom for the kills, etc. So down here below all of these layers, you just want to right click, click new and new solid. Make sure it matches the resolution of your composition, and make sure that the layer is at the top. If not, you can just drag it around. Over on your effects and presets selection list over here, you just want to type in CC Jaws and click and drag that on to the new solid layer we just made. Reduce the height to 0, and then reduce the increase the completion to somewhere that you think looks good. I tend to go for 80. And then all I do is split the clip, so I split the solid layer, sorry, by pressing Ctrl-Shift-D at the end of our clip. And we now have black bars for the entirety of our edited clip. Now the final part of this tutorial is to add some color corrections and real smooth motion blur and a bit of glow to make the visuals look a lot nicer than they do as default. So I'm just going to use that there as my reference frame. I use plugins for this. So I use Magic Bullet Looks for my color correction. So all you want to do is make a new adjustment layer and place it below your black solid layer that you've just created. And yet again, we're going to split that layer because it doesn't need to be any longer, and we'll just delete that. So so to this, we're going to apply looks. Simply click and drag onto the layer. Then over here in your effect controls, you want to press edit, which will bring up all of these presets you can use. So you can literally just go through these, choose something that you think looks pretty cool. Let's have a look. Let's go for this one, I think. Let's go for this one. Simply click the correct button down here, and that's all of your clips with a color correction on. Obviously, there are ways of doing this, but this is just the way I do it. Now, the next thing I'm going to add is it's another plugin from the Sapphire pack, and it's S Glow. I'm just going to drag that onto the adjustments layer when my computer unfreezes. There we go, it's on there. And then with this, you can change the colour. I like to go for a slight yellowish tint, so it looks a little bit more natural than pure white. And then you can also adjust the brightness of the glow. I'm going to leave it at 2. And then another plugin is Real Smooth Motion Blur, which just makes everything look a lot sleeker and nicer. So that yet again just drags onto the adjustment layer. And then the very last thing I put on is yet again part of the Sapphire plugin is S Sharpen, and just drag that on to the layer. And that is it. That is the clip finished. RAM preview it, and you're good to go. And I almost forgot to put in the gun sounds. So all we're going to want to do is go to our project over here and drag in the operator gun sound that I have here. So we're going to go back to that first kill, which is there. Just line that up the best you can. And then we might need to bring the sound levels down because obviously the clips are very close together. Go to the next kill, press Ctrl D, which duplicates the layer, and we'll drag that over to that one, and then the same again on our last kill. Ctrl D, drag it over, and yeah, that's simply the easiest way of syncing up gun sounds to your clip. Thank you for watching the video. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to put them in the comments below, and I will get back to each and every single one of you. And I've also included a download link to the clip, the track, and the operator gun sound down below.